Hey guys, it's Lava172 here, bringing you how to know or how to make a decent enough team on Showdown. Now, even though I kind of lose all of my battles, I'm just gonna show you how to make a good beat, like just the basics of making a decent team. So yeah, there's all my teams back there. I need to give them better names. So I'm just gonna make a new team, video team. Oh, Gym Leader Winona. Sorry, there's just someone named that in the chat. So I'm going to make an OU team because it's the easiest thing to show off. Now, there are three basic things you're going to want to make a team. A stealth rocker, or just an entry hazard setter in general. Um, Physical attacker, and a special attacker. Now, for entry hazards, there are the two best Pokemon you can use are Ferrothorn and Fortress. You can use whatever you like. Each have their advantages over each other. For example, Ferrothorn has more special bulk and can leech seed, while Fortress is a little bit faster and can rapid spin. But just for the fact that it has more special bulk and most of its weaknesses come from special, I would personally go with Ferrothorn. So here's my Ferrothorn. Sorry. For a bulky Pokemon, the best thing you can give it is Leftovers, because that heals 1/16 of its HP per turn, which doesn't really sound like a lot, but it's, it's beneficial. So, the basic Ferrothorn set is Stealth Rocks, Spikes, Leech Seed, and Protect, I guess. I don't know. You can Power Whip, and then to give EVs for it, I would recommend Max Defense, and that no 252 defense, and then Max Special Defense because and then lower its special attack or speed because Ferrothorn can't use either of those. I do recommend giving it completely max special defense because um, yeah, I'm just gonna put that there. Now I'm gonna put it back over. So sorry, yeah, this is getting kind of annoying, I know. Max special defense because then its defense stats are pretty much equal. Um, then you have a remaining 4, which I don't really use. But if I were going to put it somewhere, I'd probably put it in hit points. It goes up a whole 1 point. Whip-de-doo! So then, all you have to do for now for that Pokemon is give it a witty nickname. And gender, shiny or not. Next, you're going to want to make attackers. Now, attackers are pretty vital to utilize. In the actual OU tier, the best kinds of special attackers are Alakazam, Gengar, and Reunion. I don't really use Reunion because its speed sucks, and it's good if you want to use a Trick Room, but really Alakazam is probably the best way to go for this. Gengar's also really good because it has a tiny bit better bulk, probably the same, but it's a little slower. I'm just going to use Alakazam for this example. So, nicknames go last. I'll just show you how to make a choiced thing, because that's generally what people do with Alakazams. So, choice items basically lock you into a move, but raise whatever stat you want 50%. So, oh my I just need like a black wall to cover this chat because it's not interesting at all. I just keep peering over it. So for an Alakazam, you're probably going to give it choice specs, because you want that attack as you want that stat to be as high as you can. If you're going to use a choice set, give it nothing but attacking moves: Shadow Ball, Focus Blast, Psychic, and Psyshock. Then give it max attack and speed. Well, not really max speed, but 252 speed. And just give it a nickname. Okay. And then for physical attacker, there are a lot of good ones. I'm not gonna use UU Pokemon because, well, this is a OU team. There's a lot of Pokemon you can use in OU, but people just decide, oh wait, I'm gonna use UU and be an annoying little biatch. So for a physical attacker, best you can do is Haxorus. Has probably one of the highest attack stats in the game, and I'm gonna give this one the Life Orb. I'll give it Mold Breaker. Just to counter, or Mold Breaker is actually really good to counter Sun teams, Rain teams, Hail teams, and Sandstorm teams. Like teams that just revolve around the weather. You know, annoying people like that. Yeah. Another Pokemon you can use for that is Golduck, but it's just kind of a waste of a team slot to put a Golduck in there because it's not really that good, and you really only use it for its ability. But then again, that's what people do with Tyranitar, even though it's a really good Pokemon on its own. But no, they just use it as a Hippowdon. So for a Life Orb user, you're not going to want to give it just attacking moves like this choiced one. You're going to want to give it... so a good thing for Haxorus to use is Dragon Dance to raise its speed and attack. But also you can use Swords Dance. I prefer Dragon Dance. And then you're going to want to give it some coverage. Earthquake. You can choose between Outrage and Dragon Claw. Outrage is a lot more powerful, but it confuses you, forcing you to switch, and you're locked into it, so it's kind of like your choice, and they can easily just switch it to like a Magnezone or a Scizor or something. So I'll go with Dragon Claw, and why not Brick Break? Then you're going to want to give it max attack and some speed. Alright, so it's kind of yeah. So that's kind of the base you want to base your team around, but you know, you have 3 more slots to fill. The best thing you can do is have 2 walls, just to kind of have something to fall back on in case your first wall dies really quickly. Deoxys Defense is probably the best actual wall in the game, but you know, yeah, I should use that as an example. But Pokemon, I'll show off what to do with like Pokemon like Jirachi and Mew and Celebi. I'll use Celebi. Alright, so Celebi, it has base 100 stats everywhere. You can pretty much do anything you want with Pokemon like Celebi. You can make it an attacker, you can make it a supporter. Pokemon like my Celebi, like this is the set that I use my Celebi with. This is a pretty good Celebi set. Giving it max special defense and max special attack. That's little green right there. That's how to make like a bulk. No. Like a bulkier Celebi, but it can also attack if it needs to. And you're gonna want to like give it leftovers because it's not primarily an attacker. All right, so. And then how to make that an attacker. I hate Jirachi so much because everyone uses the same set on it. Iron Head and the Thunder Wave and the I don't even know what other moves they use. The Calm Mind and the Sub. And then they give it max attack and max defense. And it just pisses everybody off. That's the Jirachi. That's the Jirachi that just everyone uses. And then, lastly, I'm going to switch this just because this is kind of a rant. Another good Pokemon to use is Cloyster. And you're going to want to give it the Life Orb. And give it the Skill Link, because Skilling makes this thing unstoppable. With the Icicle Spear, Rapid Spin, not Razor Shell, I don't understand that. Rock Blast, and Toxic Spikes. Oh, no, Shell Smash. Sorry about that. And these are actually pretty solid EVs to give Cloyster. And now we have 2 bulky Pokemon and 3 attackers. So we're going to want to give ourselves one last attacker. Or not attacker, bulky. Just to make this team even. I'll show off what Blissey and Chansey do. I think Blissey is kind of more reliable to use than Chansey, but Chansey is more bulky if you give it the Eviolite. I'll show off what the Eviolite does at least. The Eviolite is probably the only not so gimmicky item they introduced in the 5th generation. It makes, if you're not fully evolved, it raises your defenses 50%, which by some people to some people it makes Chansey better. But for a Chansey or a Blissey, you're gonna give it Wish and Aromatherapy and Soft Boiled, and then either counter or Seismic Toss to deal damage, or Toxic. I personally prefer Seismic Toss. Then for Chansey or Blissey, you're gonna want to give it max HP, 128 defenses and 128 special defenses, and since you have to max out one stat, I'd recommend maxing out regular defense, just to make that as high as possible. Actually, let's lower this. Alright, so that is how to make a fairly decent team. With Blissey, you know what, I'll just switch to Blissey right now. With Blissey, the Eviolite doesn't work since it's fully evolved, so I would give it leftovers, just to get the recovery. With Blissey, you might not want to give it max defense, but max special defense, just because its defense won't go up from Eviolite. It won't be like base 200. Not base. It won't be 200. Or whatever it would have been as a Chansey. So, oh my god, I'm watching The Legend of Korra, and this is the most depressing scene I've ever even thought I would have seen. It's when Lin gets captured by Amon after taking down the airships, and like Amon just takes away her bending, but Lin just takes out the airships like a complete boss, the complete boss that she is. Okay, I'm kind of rambling on about something else. So that is how to make a halfway decent team. Experiment all you want. That's really the fun of Pokemon, is experimenting with new things. And moderated chat! Alright, so see you guys later.